Hey guys, it's Matt. Today we're going to talk about Spider-Man, but not just any Spider-Man. This is the Spider-Man from Earth 1610. This is the Miles Morales premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. Let's get into it. All right, here we have this awesome art box that this premium format comes with. This thing has this really cool sort of posterized photograph of the Miles Morales premium format on the cover here. Gives it this real comic book panel look. I just love it. Has this cool Spider-Man treatment and then this cityscape that goes all the way around the piece. There's nothing else on the back, no extra markings or anything extraneous. It's just a really nice graphical piece in and of itself. Now, on the top, you do have the Miles Morales Spider logo. And then on the bottom, since this is a number matched box, you do have some of the copyright and warnings and everything like that. And then you've got this number 606 of 1000. So this is a number matched box. It goes with the statue. It's a nice little thing. Oh, another thing, this is a really thin, narrow statue, so it doesn't take up too much room in your storage space. And that's nice to see from time to time. Now let's get into the base. Here we have the base, which is centered around Ultimate Venom. This is the Conrad Marcus version of Venom from the Earth 1610, the Miles Morales universe. It's got this really, really cool sort of metallic bluish, purplish finish. I just love it. It's got these neat insectoid carapace parts, and it's cast in a translucent resin, so when light hits it, it kind of subsurface scatters inside the gums and teeth, makes it look really, really genuine. On the bottom, you've got this cool Spider-Man motif with the Spider-Man Miles Morales. You've got your statue number and then the Marvel logo. It's real simple, real clean, but I like it a lot. Next, you've got these really cool tendril pieces that go up and around the Venom head. It's really neat. They're keyed. They only go one way. This one goes on this side. You have this smallest one here that goes on the lower jaw. And then one more piece here, keys on the right side. Gives it this really cool vortex look of all these Venom symbiote tendrils coming up to reach for Spider-Man. The last piece is this really cool tongue. It's cast in the same translucent resin that the rest of the head is cast in. It just gives it this really cool look, like it's going to be soft to the touch, but it's actually a hard poly resin. It's a really neat, thoughtful touch to have that be kind of semi-clear like that. And that fits in there with a really strong magnet. I really like how it has this sort of double helix look right here. It's a real intentional design touch. I think it's really cool. Next, we have Miles' body here. Now this statue is supported by one piece, just by his hand right here. It's got a really great athletic sculpt that's, realistically posed, but a little bit exaggerated, so you get that spider look. That just slots right into here. It's keyed, so it only goes one way, and his arm supports the entire weight of that statue. Now this is the collector's edition of this statue, so it only comes with one left hand. This is keyed because there is an exclusive edition that comes with a clutched hand that's holding his mask, because there's also an unmasked Miles Morales head that you can get with the exclusive edition. I just have a collector's edition, which I'm perfectly happy with, and therefore I just have the masked portrait right here. This is the Miles Morales Spider-Man masked portrait. The webbing on this is all raised, red and glossy over a matte black finish. Gives it a really nice sense of dimension and precision. The way this is all painted is very, very impressive. It catches the light in a really nice way, so every piece of webbing has both a highlight and a low light, where if they were just painted on there, it would just be flat red. It's a really nice touch that gives this kind of dimensionality that really comes from statues when you have them in your house as artwork that you don't necessarily get from art prints. You just don't get that kind of 3D effect of light moving and catching. It's one of the reasons I like statues as much as I do, and this really shows off that aspect. So there you go. There's the collector's edition of the Miles Morales Spider-Man from Sideshow Collectibles. Now let's get into a little bit of how I feel about this piece and if I think it belongs in your collection. All right, now when you're talking about new editions of classic characters like Spider-Man, now this isn't a different character, this isn't Spider-Boy, this is not some different superhero to go alongside Spider-Man. This is this universe's version of Spider-Man, and that is Miles Morales. Now we've all seen Spider-Verse, there is a Spider-Man in there, but this Miles Morales takes up that new mantle and he's given his own adventures. Sometimes that's not really well received, but Miles Morales is such an appealing character, and his journey is so well done that I feel he's been really well adopted into the community, and he's become a classic character in his own right. The movie Into the Spider-Verse really sort of sold that point to us, and in the Ultimate comics, he's really great as well. This statue depicts him in where he's a little bit more advanced as Spider-Man. He's more mature. He knows what he's doing, and he's going up against this Marcus Conrad version of Venom. The dynamics in this piece tell a huge story of how he's overcoming this Venom reaching up for him. He's such a huge character with this little Spider-Man, but you can tell that Miles has full control of the situation. So the overall design of this piece, I find very, very successful. Now, one thing that is a hallmark of Sideshow pieces is the overall design as a cohesive piece. It's not a base with something happening on it. It's not a featured base with a kind of a character in there. As you'll see, some other companies really prioritize detail, whereas Sideshow, at least to me, seems to prioritize design. And you've got this entire piece where one side does not work without another. You've got this really, really cool, almost two-figure piece. You've got this huge Venom, you've got this great Spider-Man, all working together to make one statue premium format. Now, premium format often are multimedia. They're mixed media. They'll have fabric, they'll have metal. This is a fully sculpted premium format piece. Now, it being premium format, it is quarter scale, but otherwise it has a lot in common with maquettes and statues that don't have mixed media. Some people think that's great. Some people would like to see mixed media incorporated in all their premium formats. I am fine with either way as long as the statue holds up on its own. Now, in my mind, one of the mixed media type of things that this does have going for it is this sort of translucent resin that's used in Venom here. It's such an attractive thing. It's what drew me to it in all of the gallery photos that we see online. And it's a piece that held up in real life just as well as it does in those gallery photos. Something to look out for if you get this piece, and something that I point out to everybody that looks at it themselves. Now, the sculpt in Miles is really, really well done. It's an anatomy masterclass. Everything that I can think to look for is right where it should be. The musculature, everything in all his forearms, everything is just perfectly done. The webbing is on his hands. It's actually a sculpted in webbing, and it's perfectly inset, very clean. The painting is very clean. His fingers are glossy, whereas the suit itself is kind of matte the same. So anywhere there's red, it's high gloss. And that contrast is a lot of fun to look at. His hand here, the right hand, the way it's pressing into the Venom, now it's actually sculpted in. It's just his wrist, so his right hand is part of the base. But that gives you the advantage of it really grabbing onto that symbiote costume, and it looks like it's pressing into what will be a soft surface. So, you know, the sculpt and everything, 10 out of 10 on this piece. It's a premium format that's on the small side, but that's not a negative. It fits well in a display. It gives you some good multi-tiering, so he's not too oppressive, but he draws your eye. Are there any negatives to this statue? Not really. I think this one is really a piece that hits it out of the park for Sideshow. The design and execution is really, really top notch. The only thing that I dislike is that the exclusive was such a iconic piece that's not included in the collector's edition. It would have been great if even the collector's edition had the masked and unmasked portrait, and maybe the exclusive had maybe the hoodie or some tennis shoes or something a little bit more extreme, because that unmasked portrait, because of the importance of Miles as this sort of taking up the mantle Spider-Man, it'd be nice to be able to showcase that portrait in my collection, even if I just have the collector's edition. That's my only small gripe, and that's just, I wish there was more. I like the statue so much, I wish there was more to it. I do think if you're a Marvel Spider-Man collector, if you have Spider-Verse collection, this is an absolute must-buy. It's not terribly expensive. He's not hugely big. The box doesn't take up too much space in your storage. I really think this is one you gotta get. It pleases everybody who looks at it. People that have seen Into the Spider-Verse are really all about it. So yeah, this is a must-buy. But there you go. That's my assessment. That's my review for this Miles Morales Spider-Man by Sideshow Collectibles. He is still available on the site. So if you go to sideshow.com and search out Miles Morales, you'll get a few options. Look up Miles Morales Premium Format, you'll get this one. So jump on there, get yours. Happy collecting.
Did you enjoy that video? Be sure to subscribe by hitting the S icon on your screen and click the bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. If you'd like more info on the items featured in this video, click the link provided under product info. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.